Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A school has been targeted in an arson attack overnight, with the fire at Kingston High School devastating a building used for outreach programs. Police say wooden pallets were set ablaze next to the structure, quickly turning into a damaging fire.
Warped and blackened, this school building now completely destroyed.
It could only be described as a particularly cowardly and pathetic thing to do.
Authorities were called around 9:45 last night, while they were already dealing with another fire in scrubland directly behind the school grounds.
The fire alarm at the Kingston High School was activated and they could see a fire coming from one of the classrooms. I think time will show that the two fires are most likely linked.
Wooden pallets outside the classroom are believed to have fuelled the flames.
Put pallets up against the wall of that classroom, lit the pallets, and that pallets had quickly spread, the fire had quickly spread.
Today, authorities combed the scene, collecting evidence to try and determine what happened.
Tasmania Police have a very specific line of inquiry in regards to the persons who would be responsible for this.
The school is made up of 11 different buildings, the principal saying programs run out of this one are crucial.
So this building is profoundly important as a safe learning space for students who are accessing education through personalised programs.
Around 600 students attend this school, and around 15 of those take part in the programs run here at the Community Outreach Building. Damage to the building is estimated at up to $200,000, with the school confirming that specially made no bullying t-shirts were also destroyed.
And so those t-shirts are really important to us. So we're reprinting those together as a school community. So there's a really important message in that.
Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian motorcycle company GRUB has today been slugged with a $25,000 fine. The company faced the Launceston Magistrates Court, where it pleaded guilty to 6 counts of approval for the placement of identification plates and 3 counts of importing vehicles requiring modification. In sentencing, Magistrate Ken Stanton described some of the offences as unintentional, while others were deliberate. The court also heard the company, which once boasted a $3 million turnover, was now in liquidation. At the opening of delayed parliamentary sittings, the Premier has unveiled a new master plan for the troubled Royal Hobart Hospital. He also welcomed new colleagues, replacing 2 government MPs who were only re-elected by Tasmanian voters a year ago.
Our newest MPs led into the political battle arena. Liberal members Joan Ryler and John Tucker officially sworn in at Parliament House.
I do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen.
Replacing Adam Brooks and Reen Hidding following their shock resignations, as a day largely filled with traditional ceremony kicked off Parliament for the year, albeit a week behind schedule. But it was an unusually quiet start to the day, a minute's silence for victims in Christchurch. The Premier then outlining the year's agenda after a rough end to 2018.
There are always challenges in politics, but we'll not be distracted by that. Our focus will be on the people of Tasmania, not ourselves.
Health a major priority, revealing there will be no change to the layout of the Royal Hobart Hospital redevelopment, despite multiple warnings from doctors. Instead, an expansion of the emergency department and intensive care unit within the next 3 years. And the current repatriation hospital will be transformed into a dedicated mental health facility.
This provides the opportunity to build a best practice, dedicated mental health facility, importantly with more privacy and outdoor space.
But this desperately needed change could be decades away, a cost and time frame yet to be unveiled. Also revealing traffic congestion is on the agenda, a new investigation being launched into solving the growing problem.
This work will consider all possible options, whether bypass roads, tunnels or a mix of both.
Labor and the Greens will reveal their plans when Parliament resumes tomorrow. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
Patience has run out for Longford residents fed up with foul odours creeping into the township. The Northern Midlands Council has weighed in on the stink, demanding answers from a nearby meatworks and Taswater.
The flowers might be blossoming on the road to Longford, but don't be fooled, a foul stench lurks within this picturesque town.
It really smells like you've walked past a dog that's just done something that you really shouldn't want to be smelling. It's horrible.
Terry Goldsworthy runs this hall for hire. The eye-watering smell forces her to seal the windows, even lighting incense just to keep it at bay.
I've never really noticed it before, but in the last 6 months, it's been really bad.
Jodie Murray has heard plenty of comments from tourists over the pharmacy counter.
Well, on a bad day, it really does hit you in the face when you walk out. You know, it's like getting off a plane in Cairns and it takes your breath away.
While the smell today is perfectly fine, locals say other days the stench is overwhelming. The Environment Protection Authority says it's investigating and has already identified a number of sources. They include the JBS Meatworks and Taswater's wastewater treatment plant. A rupture in an effluent pipe linking the two is also thought to have added to the odorous woes. The Northern Midlands Council will soon write to both, but one councillor wants action from the EPA.
Police these smells, whether it's coming from the Taswater lagoons or Swift. We'd like a thorough investigation into the matter and put it to bed once and for all.
Taswater says it's working to address the matter. JBS was also contacted for comment.
It puts me off Longford. And I don't want Longford to be referred to as Pongford or anything like that. We've got to fix this.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
The Hobart City Council has voted to back a new plan for the Taste of Tasmania. Over 3 years, Council will reduce its contribution to the major event, calling for the state government to kick in more.
Fred Peacock has been showcasing Bream Creek wines at the Taste of Tasmania since the day it began 30 years ago.
It enables Tasmanian product to be seen by a lot of people outside Tassie, and that's really important for our state.
The event's been in the spotlight over the last few weeks with ongoing talks of funding arrangements. Last night, the Hobart City Council agreed to fund it with $3 million over the next 3 years. That funding will start at $1.1 million at the next festival and reduced over the next 2.
So I think it'll add a lot of stability to the taste and allow us to really bring in some really solid sponsors.
With the event showcasing products from across the state and getting visitors into the regions, Hobart's Lord Mayor says it shouldn't be only Hobart residents footing the bill when they only make up 21% of the visitation.
It is a very expensive festival for one group of ratepayers to have to subsidise.
I mean, the council do a fantastic job in running it, and I certainly want to see them running it. But in terms of being able to fund an event of that size, it is quite a strain on a single council.
The council requesting government support, asking for $250,000 or $500,000 per year and a term commitment. But it says it already provides support, such as subsidised venue access, but it will consider the request as part of its broader event strategy.
If you have that strategic forward look at the event, then you can actually start to plan, which will help to reduce the cost in the long term, rather than going year to year.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania has proven itself as a haven for property owners in the face of declining prices across the country. In ABS data released today, Hobart and Adelaide were the only capital cities to experience price growth in the final quarter of last year. Residential property saw a modest increase of 0.7 compared with falling prices nationally. Over 2018, Hobart's prices increased almost 10%, while the national average fell 5%. Sydney's market saw the biggest drop. It has parts dating back to the 1880s and last rumbled down our railways 30 years ago. Now, a piece of Tasmania's train history is about to be restored, with some of its antique treasures still intact.
It's a grandfather of rail's golden age, a noble servant for nearly a century. But this carriage faced an undignified final resting place before the boys from the Don River Railway came to the rescue. It was abandoned in a field near Elizabethtown, so the group of rail devotees raised enough money to remove it and make the delicate descent to its new home.
Anywhere a good stream went, you'd have taken one of these.
It's called a guards van, a component once common in trains, since vanquished by modern technology.
The guards van would provide the only braking power, so the guard would be, making sure that things didn't get away going downhill.
The guard's view was somewhat restricted, and an emergency axe completed the safety checklist. This train really is a time capsule.
Got it! Right, what will it reveal?
No canines in the dog box, just old invoices.
Got chains where you could tie them up, presumably, so they don't fight each other. If you've got another dog at the other side, they thought of everything.
For such an old carriage, I'm told it's in pretty good nick. The light fittings are still in place, and the guard's original green flag is still here.
It could take up to 3 years to restore the carriage, but there's enough skill and heart to get the job done.
I would have probably seen this thing on the rails in its heyday, certainly in the 70s and 80s, I'd probably have seen it. I mean, to suddenly realise they've all gone, and yet here we are trying to recreate a bit of history. It's wonderful. It's great.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
And after winning its first flag in a decade, the Hadspen Cricket Club is desperate to hang on to its Sri Lankan rising star for next season. The teenage recruit guided the local side to its breakthrough premiership over the weekend with a sensational century.
He's the Sri Lankan's secret weapon, who changed the course of history for Hadspen in the recent local league final.
Really happy, really enjoying.
Tanuka Dubberay smashed 104 runs off just 47 balls in the final, including 9 sixes, one bringing up his century. The 19-year-old all-rounder heads home tomorrow, leaving an incredible record of 1,237 runs from 23 matches. The next time we see him could be in Sri Lankan colours.
Really, I'm proud of my first season in Premiership. I'm really proud of.
Tanuka was one of 4 Sri Lankans in the side. Fellow recruit Samira had to adjust to Australia's attacking brand of cricket.
Sri Lankan sometimes scared the ball when the bouncer, but in here I saw they never scared. They're not wearing helmet. How fast, it doesn't matter.
The club will no doubt be looking to attract the pair again next season.
They don't just go, they stick around, they help each other out and they help all the young kids out as well. It's been terrific for the club.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Meantime, George Bailey has failed to recover from a shoulder injury in time for the Tigers' last Sheffield Shield match of the regular season, with Hamish Kingston and Simon Malenko added to the squad for tomorrow's clash with New South Wales at Blunston Arena. The Tigers remain a very slim chance to make finals, needing to convincingly beat the Blues, whilst also have the result of the Western Australia-Queensland match go their way. The game begins at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Connections of Tasmanian horse East Ender remain in limbo, with the South Australian racing stewards still yet to set a date for an inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the gelding's late scratching on Adelaide Cup Day. Owners and Sprayton-based trainer Barry Campbell were denied a chance at the $400,000 Group 2 prize purse after stewards raised concerns about the race day treatment of the horse following a routine stable inspection. Finally in sport, Jacob Despard will be out to do what no athlete has since 1967 and claim back-to-back store gift titles. The Tasmanian sprinter confirming today that he'll return to contest the 2019 title following last year's historic win, which saw him claim $40,000 in prize money. The 21-year-old is in good form on the track, having clocked a personal best time of 10.40 at last month's Sydney Track Classic. The race will be broadcast live on 7 Tasmania on Easter Monday, April 22.
Good evening. Some light shower activity over the north and northeast today. The best fall 5 millimetres at St Helens and Grey. It's a start. Hobart 21 degrees, Launceston and Devonport 25, Burnie a high of 24. Ooze the top today, 26. King Island 23, Flinders Island, Lowhead, Lyawini and Strawn all 22. St Helens 20, Friendly Beaches 19 degrees. A band of cloud extends over northeast Tasmania, patchy low-level cloud over the rest of the state. On the bigger picture, more cloud sits over the southern waters. The thunderstorms continue off New South Wales and also southwest WA. Trevor has been upgraded to a severe tropical cyclone off far north Queensland, and it's moving. Tomorrow, a weak ridge of high pressure persists near Tasmania and southern parts of the mainland, and as you can see, Trevor tracks westwards, moving now over the Gulf. Winds southeast to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, lighter and more variable over the south and west, with swells below 2 metres. Forecast for tomorrow, Hobart partly cloudy and 23, 25 the top for Geeveston, bit of cloud for Bothwell, 24 the high. Launceston, a top of 27 and partly cloudy, still a 20% chance of some precipitation, 24 for Devonport and 26 the high for Cressy and partly cloudy as well. 23 the maximum for Burnie, bit of cloud about, a light shower for Strawn, and 22 a showery day for Curry and 22 the top. For St Helens tomorrow, a morning shower, 22 the maximum, 21 for Swansea and Orford with an early shower clearing. UV again in the high range. On Thursday, mainly fine for most of the state, but a shower is forecast over the north and northwest. Another possible shower over the north on Friday with cloudy weather over the remainder, and on Saturday showers over the northwest extending statewide during the day. 90% chance of rain for Devonport, 60 for Launceston and less for Hobart. Further north tomorrow, a humid sunny day for Perth, fine for Adelaide, a cloudy 27 in Melbourne, a shower forecast for Sydney and sunny at last in Brisbane. Cloudy around here, 19 degrees in Hobart, 20 in Launceston, 19 right now in Devonport as we count down to the start of the AFL season, Joe. And to commemorate, I think we ought to wear our team colours on Thursday night. Your fashionable brown and gold would look lovely.
Well, they are my colours. Thank you very much, Murph. That's all from the team for now. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Bye-bye.